Hello, I'm Derrick Harrison, just in case you don't know my face. And I've been asked if I would talk about an article entitled Isolation, which came out of preaching at different places in the UK. And it's about lockdown, and we've just moved into our second period of lockdown. And now it's almost winter time, so it looks a little bit different to our first lockdown. But isolation is something that is quite significant in the lives of key biblical personalities. And therefore, I came to the conclusion that it's often the plan of God to bring his children into periods of isolation from what? Well, primarily from people, because God made us to be relational and, in all lots of areas, families and so on. And once I started digging, it was quite interesting. And also in the lives of people that some of us would know by books, people like Amy Carmichael. Richard Rembrandt spent 15 years underground in a communist prison, and other people like Madame Guyon and George Fox had significant periods where they were set apart by the Lord. And I think the important thing is to really get the benefits that God wants to bring to us in this period of time, not think, well, I'll endure this and whatever, and we'll be back to normal and so on. But to make it work for our benefit and for our good. And the first person I looked at was Noah. Go back to Genesis chapter 9. And you remember he was a preacher of righteousness. He preached with his Bible in one hand and his hammer in the other, kind of model I quite like. And he preached for 100 years without any fruit whatsoever. He pointed out to them the ark and the imminent judgment of God. But the significant point was that there came a day when he was finished and he heard a voice from inside the ark. It was the voice of God calling him into the ark. And for one whole year, that's one lunar year, because the Jewish calendar is not based on the same kind of things as ours is. So that's 350 days, exactly 1 year. He was locked down in the ark with his family and with the animals. And if you think of what went on during that time, it's quite horrific, quite unbelievable. And he survived. You imagine all those creatures. You imagine the rain, the torrential rain, the uprising waters from underneath the earth, and the gales and hurricanes and so on. And looking after, I nearly said that menagerie, that incredible collection of animals, every creature, and how he managed during that time. So that is a kind of most unusual lockdown. I don't think that comes anywhere near anything we would encounter. But then I came on to Joseph, and that's another story altogether. In prison for 3 years, with iron fetters round his ankles that left permanent marks in his flesh. And it says how the word of the Lord tried him. So there's something going on in there, a testing. And really, he had to live with himself and face what looked like loss of everything. He lost his family, been betrayed by his brothers, disillusionment, hurt, brokenness, physical deprivation, and so on. So that was Joseph, but it says the word of the Lord tried him. He was taught to depend upon God in his trials.